Hey everyone, so today we're going to be doing another loops and threads crochet kit. We're going to make 3 different sized mushrooms. This is everything that came in the box. I added my own scissors and a stitch marker because this box doesn't include it. We're going to make all of the mushroom stems first, and then we'll do all the caps together and then the white dots on the top. We're going to get started off with the small mushroom stem first. This is the written pattern for the small mushroom stem. Like always, it's going to be in the description box below as well, so let's go ahead and get started. So getting started with the small mushroom stem first, we're going to start with making a magic ring. So wrapping the yarn around your 2 fingers, making X on the top, going under the first strand, over the second, pulling it through, twist it back through, and now we have our magic ring. We're going to do 6 single crochets into the magic ring. So we have our 6 single crochets tightened down. We're going to do a slip stitch into the first stitch of that round. We're going to do a chain 1. Now we're getting ready for round 2. Round 2, you're going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch. So you're going to go into the next stitch, do 1 and 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Same thing, 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So we've done 4 stitches. Get your stitch marker, place your stitch marker here, and then continue with 2 single crochets in each stitch until you reach back over here. You'll have a total of 12 stitches. I'll meet you guys back to do a slip stitch. So we finished the 12 single crochets. Take out our stitch marker and slip stitch into the stitch that our stitch marker was in. We're going to chain 1. Now we're ready for round 3. Round 3 is going to be 1 single crochet and 3 stitches, and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. So we'll do 1 single crochet and 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. And then into the 4th stitch, you're doing 2 single crochets in the same stitch, making an increase. Just like that. So we have our 5 stitches. Place your stitch marker at the beginning of the round. You're going to repeat this sequence again. 1 single crochet and 3 stitches, and then an increase of 2 single crochets into the 4th stitch. Repeat that until you get all the way back around. At the end of this round, you'll have 15 stitches. I'll meet you guys back to do the slip stitch. So we finished that one, so we're going to take out our stitch marker. Into the stitch that our stitch marker was in, we're going to do a slip stitch and chain 1. Now we're ready for rounds 4 and 5. Rounds 4 and 5 are the same, so you're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. At the end of round 4 and 5, you'll have 15 stitches. Alright, so we finished rounds 4 and 5. So for round 5, I'm going to go do our slip stitch into the first stitch of round 5 and our chain 1. Now we're ready for round 6. Round 6, you're going to do 1 single crochet and 3 stitches and then make a decrease. So we'll do our 3 single crochets, and to do our decrease, we're going to go into the next available stitch, pull through, next available stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's your decrease. You're going to repeat this again. You're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches and then a decrease. At the end of this round, you're going to have a total of 12 stitches. Alright, so we finished round 6. We're going to do our slip stitch into this first stitch of this round. And a chain 1. Now we're ready for round 7. Round 7, you're going to do 1 single crochet and 2 stitches with a decrease and then a single crochet and 2 stitches. Just going to do our 2 single crochets, and then we're going to do a decrease. So in the next available stitch, yarn over, pull through all 3, and then we're going to do a single crochet in 2 stitches. And that's the sequence. So you're going to repeat that sequence again. You're going to do 2 single crochets, a decrease, and then 2 single crochets. I'll meet you guys back at the end of round 7. You'll have 10 stitches. Alright, so we finish round 7. Do your slip stitch into the first stitch of this round. And our chain 1. Now we're ready for round 8. So round 8 through 10 is going to be the same. You're just doing 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. You'll still have 10 stitches at the end of each of those rounds. Meet you guys back at the end of round 10. So we finished our round 10. We're going to do our slip stitch into the first stitch of round 10 and our chain 1. Now we're ready for round 11. Round 11, we're going to be working in only the front loop of our single crochets. So starting off with the first one, you're going to go, instead of going through both loops like this, you want to just go through the one that's on the front. So going into the front loop only, you're going to pull through, and we're going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to do an increase in the next stitch. So into the front loop only of the next stitch, you're going to put 2 single crochets to create an increase. Like that. And we're going to repeat it again. So into the front loop, we're going to do 1 single crochet, and then in the next front loop, we're going to do an increase of 2 single crochets. We're going to keep repeating this, making sure you're only going into the front loop, so it's going to look where this one looks like it's all together. This one here looks like it's making a little ledge. You're going to keep repeating that sequence of 1 single crochet and then an increase in the next stitch all the way around. At the end, you're going to have 15 stitches. I'll meet you guys back to do the slip stitch before round 12. Alright, so this is our round 11. So when working into the front loop only, it kind of creates this ledge right here. It's going to be the underside of the mushroom that's going to attach to the mushroom cap at the top. So we're going to go ahead and get ready for finishing off this one. We're going to do a slip stitch into the first stitch of this round and a chain 1. And now we're ready for round 12. Now round 12, it's just going to be worked into both loops like normal. So we're going to do a single crochet, an increase, and then a single crochet. So we're going to start with a single crochet, 2 single crochets in the next stitch to make an increase, making sure you're going through both loops, and then a single crochet. You're going to repeat that same sequence of a single crochet, an increase, and then a single crochet all the way around. At the end of this round, you have a total of 20 stitches. I'll meet you guys back. Okay, so this is what round 12 looked like. It's just giving you more of a bottom underside of the mushroom cap. So for this one, you're just going to slip stitch into the first stitch of that round. Do a chain 1, pull it up a little bit to secure it down, and we're going to go ahead and cut it off. There we go. And this is our first mushroom stem for the small mushroom. We're going to go ahead and get started on the medium one next. Okay, so we're moving on to the medium size mushroom stem. This is the written pattern for the medium size mushroom stem. The large size mushroom stem is very similar to this one, so I'm going to show you the medium one and then we're going to do the large one off camera on your own. So let's get started with the medium one. We'll get our thread and we're going to make a magic ring. So wrapping around your fingers, making that X, going under the first strand over the second, grabbing and twisting, making your magic circle. Now that we have that, we're going to put our 6 single crochets into the ring. So we have our 6 single crochets in their magic circle. I've already tightened mine down, so you pull your tail to tighten your circle down. Once you do that, you're going to find the first stitch of that round and you're going to do a slip stitch into the first stitch of that round, and then do a chain 1. Now we're ready for round 2. Same as the first one we did, you're going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch. I'll meet you guys back in just a sec. Alright, so we have our 2 single crochets in each stitch. I have a total of 12 stitches. Getting ready for round 3, we're going to do a slip stitch into the last stitch, first stitch of round 2, and then do a chain 1. Ready for round 3, it's going to be 1 single crochet and then an increase of 2 single crochets in the next. So we'll do 1 single crochet and then increase with 2 single crochets in this stitch. You're going to keep repeating 1 single crochet and then an increase all the way around. At the end of round 3, you'll have 18 stitches. Alright, so we're going to finish off round 3. We're going to do our slip stitch into the first stitch of that round, doing our chain 1, getting ready for round 4. So rounds 4 through 6 are going to be the same. It's just 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So for rounds 4 through 6, you're going to have a total of 18 stitches. I'll meet you guys back at the end of round 6. Okay, so we finished rounds 4 through 6. For end off round 6, we're going to do our slip stitch into the first stitch of that round. We're going to do our chain 1, ready for round 7. Round 7 is 1 single crochet and 2 stitches, a decrease, a single crochet and 2 stitches. So we're going to do 1 single crochet and 2 stitches, and then we're going to do our decrease. So into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, next stitch, yarn over, pull through all 3, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet and 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. We're going to continue repeating that same sequence. 1 single crochet and 2 stitches, a decrease, and 1 single crochet and 2 stitches. At the end of round 7, you'll have a total of 15 stitches. So we finish round 7. Do your slip stitch and chain 1. Ready for round 8. Round 8 is 1 single crochet and 3 stitches and then a decrease. So we'll do 1 single crochet and these 3 stitches, and into our 4th stitch we're going to do a decrease. So put into our 4th stitch, pull through, put into our 5th stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. You're going to repeat that same sequence of 3 single crochets and then a decrease all the way around. At the end of round 8, you'll have 12 stitches. Alright, so we finish round 8. We're going to do our slip stitch and chain 1. So rounds 9 through 13 are the same. It's just 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. And in between your rounds from 9 through 13, make sure you're doing your slip stitch and your chain 1 in between. You'll still have 12 stitches at the end of rounds 9 through 13. So we finished round 13. We're going to do our slip stitch into the first stitch of that round, our chain 1. Now we're going to do round 14. Like the first time, the first mushroom stem that we were using, we're going to work into the front loop. So working into our front loop, we're going to do a single crochet and then an increase. So just in the front loop, so this here being both loops, just go through the one in the front. It will look like this. We're going to do a single crochet. And then in the next front loop only, we're going to do an increase of 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. You're going to keep repeating that. In the front loop only, do 1 single crochet and then an increase all the way around. At the end of this round, you'll have 18 stitches. So we did round 14. Going to do our slip stitch and chain 1. Now we're going to do, for round 15, it's 1 single crochet, an increase, and then a single crochet. So we do a single crochet into both loops, an increase of 2 single crochets in 1 stitch, and then a single crochet. Keep repeating the 1 single crochet, increase, and 1 single crochet all the way around. At the end of round 15, you'll have 24 stitches. Meet you guys back to do the slip stitch and cut. So we did round 15. We have 24 stitches. You're going to do your slip stitch into the first stitch of that round, and then you're going to do a chain one, pull up on your chain one to tighten it down. And we're going to go ahead and cut. And this is your second mushroom stem. This is the small and medium mushroom stem. So the large mushroom stem is very similar to the ones that we've been doing here. I'm going to go ahead and work that off camera, making sure when you get to round 20, make sure that you're working into the front loop only to get that under cap lip that we have here. Alright, so I finished the small and medium mushroom caps off camera. We're going to make the large mushroom cap together. They're all pretty much the same, just different amount of stitches. So we have our red thread, and this is the stem for our large mushroom. So we're going to get our thread. We start with a magic ring. We'll go under and over. We're going to do 5 single crochets into the magic ring. We're going to tighten it down. We're going to slip stitch into the first stitch of this round. And we'll do a chain one. So now we're ready for round 2, and round 2 is just 2 single crochets in each stitch. So we'll do our 2 single crochets together. That makes our increase, and keep repeating 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around. At the end of round 2, you'll have a total of 10 stitches. Alright, so we finished round 2. We're going to do our slip stitch into the first stitch of this round, and then a chain one. Now we're ready for round 3. Round 3 is a single crochet and then an increase. So we'll do a single crochet and then 2 single crochets in one to create that increase. Keep repeating that. So we're going to do 1 single crochet and then an increase of 2 single crochets in one stitch all the way around. At the end of round 3, you're going to have 15 stitches. So we finish round 3. We're going to do our slip stitch and chain one. Ready for round 4. Round 4 is going to be a single crochet, an increase, and then a single crochet. So do our single crochet, an increase of 2 single crochets in one stitch, and then a single crochet. Repeat that same sequence of a single crochet, an increase, and a single crochet all the way around. At the end of round 4, you'll have a total of 20 stitches. So we finish round 4. We'll do our slip stitch into the first stitch of that round, chain one, ready for round 5. Round 5 is 1 single crochet and 3 stitches and then an increase. So do 1 single crochet and 3 stitches, and then an increase of 2 single crochets in the 4th stitch. Keep repeating 1 single crochet and 3 stitches, and then an increase of 2 single crochets into that next stitch. At the end of round 5, you'll have 25 stitches. So we finish round 5. We're going to do our slip stitch, chain one, ready for round 6. Round 6, we're going to do a single crochet in the next 2 stitches, an increase, and then a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So we're going to do 2 single crochets, an increase into the 3rd stitch, and then 2 single crochets, and that's our sequence. So repeat that same sequence again, starting with the 2 single crochets, an increase of 2 single crochets in one stitch, and then 2 more single crochets. At the end of round 6, you're going to have 30 stitches. So we finish round 6. We're going to do our slip stitch and chain one, ready for round 7. Round 7 is 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches and then an increase. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then do an increase into the 6th stitch. So 2 single crochets in this stitch. You're going to repeat that same sequence, 5 single crochets and then an increase. At the end of round 7 you'll have 35 stitches. Alright, so we finished round 7. We do our slip stitch and chain 1. Getting ready for round 8. Now round 8 is 1 single crochet in 3 stitches, an increase, and then a single crochet in 3 stitches. So we got 1, 2, 3, and then an increase, and then 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to repeat that sequence of 1 single crochet in 3 stitches with an increase in the next stitch and then 3 more single crochets. At the end of round 8 you'll have 40 stitches. Okay, so we finished round 8. This is the top of the mushroom cap. We're going to take the mushroom cap and we're going to attach it to the mushroom stem. Before we do that, real quick, we'll do our slip stitch into the first stitch of this round. We don't need to do a chain 1 yet. You're going to line up your work with the first stitch here on your mushroom cap. And you're going to do a slip stitch. And now that we have our mushroom cap attached, we're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Starting with this first stitch, go through the red and the white layer, making sure you're going through both layers. Pull through and then do our single crochet. So again, we're going through both layers, both the top and bottom, like this. Pull your yarn through and do a single crochet. You're going to keep doing 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. When you're about halfway, add some more stuffing to help dome up the top, and then finish it off on the end. Alright, so we finished the round 9 with a single crochet to attach the mushroom cap to the mushroom stem. Added some polyfill in here to make it have a dome shape here. So to finish off round 9, we're doing our slip stitch into the first stitch of that round and a chain 1. So we're going to do round 10. This is going to help make the curved edge that goes over the mushroom side. So round 10 is going to be a single crochet in 7 stitches and then an increase. So we've got 2, and then we'll do an increase. So we're going to repeat that. We're going to do 7 single crochets and then an increase in each stitch all the way around. At the end of round 10, you're going to have 45 stitches. So this is round 10. It starts to have a little bit of a lip. So we're going to do our slip stitch and chain 1. Round 11 and 12 are exactly the same. You're just going to do 1 single crochet all the way around. At the end of round 11 and 12, you'll still have 45 stitches. I'll meet you guys back at the end of round 12. Alright, we finished round 12. We're going to do our slip stitch, chain 1, pull up a little bit to secure it down. Go ahead and cut this off. So we'll grab our tapestry needle here. And then we're going to, you can weave it in more securely if you want. I'm just going to push mine up here through the bottom, through the top of the mushroom cap. and pull it just enough and cut it off. Any bits sticking out, just push them back down in the top. There we go. That's our large mushroom cap, medium and small. Next thing we're going to get started on is the spot detail on the top. Okay, so we're going to get started on the spots. All the spots are basically the same. You're making a magic ring, you're putting in some single crochets, closing off the ring. Pretty simple. I'm going to show you how to make one of the extra large spots so it's easier to see on camera. And then when I get ready to assemble them together, I'll show you how I do the French knot on the small mushroom cap as well. So let's make that first extra large spot. So we do our magic ring. And we're going to do 9 single crochets into the magic ring. Alright, so we have our 9 single crochets. Pull it tight. And we're just going to slip stitch into that first stitch of that round. And pull through and then do a chain 1 and chain 1 and cut. And that's as simple as they are. This is what they are saying is the size of a extra large spot, and this extra large spot is going to go on top of the red top mushroom. I'll show you guys how I attach them in a little bit, so I'll meet you guys back once you make all the spots for all the sizes of mushroom. Alright, so we finished making all of our spots. This one here, this is just me embroidering it on with the yarn. I did not do a French knot. I just kind of made an X and then made another line across to make it more circular shape. This is the French knot. It has a little bit more of a 3D effect. I'm going to show you the French knot, and then you're welcome to choose to do it whichever way you'd like. So we're going to put one over here. We go under the stitch, pull it up through, and you go back through the next stitch, and this is securing our yarn into place. And we'll go back up through the same first stitch that we had. So now that we have that, we're going to come over here, grabbing our needle, we're going to wrap it towards yourself. I wrapped it 3 times towards myself. And we're going to go through the second stitch, not the stitch that we just came out of, through the second stitch that we secured our yarn into. We're going to pull it back down through. And that's your French knot, just like that. I'm going to make a couple more of these on the diagram, and then I'm going to show you real quick how to attach one of the spots to the large top mushroom, and then everything else can be done off camera, and I'll meet you guys back in just a sec. Alright, so we're going to attach a extra large size knot onto the biggest mushroom. So I have here on my tapestry needle, and I'm going to go down through the top because I don't want the yarn to wrap over the edge of the mushroom. So now we have it in place here. You're going to go back up under the next stitch. Just like that. And then you'll go back over the top, down through the next stitch. And you'll just keep going back and forth between the 2 layers. Until it's secure the way that you want it to be. And you'll follow the diagram in the chart to show you where to place all your mushrooms or spots, mushroom spots. So once you get back around and your mushroom spot is secure, you can just take it, push it through the center. You can push it through the top of the mushroom cap like this. Pull it all the way through. Pull on it just a little bit. Snip it close to the stem or the mushroom cap. That way you won't be able to see the thread when you're done. So I'll meet you guys back once I have them all done. Welcome back everyone. So we finished putting together all of the spots on the mushrooms. They don't really stand up on their own. They came out pretty good looking. Overall, this kit, I would have to say, is the easiest out of all the loops and threads kits that we've done so far. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you guys next week.